What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like, subscribe as you tune into this channel and check out the content, right? And so now I want to speak on James Harden. I was recently watching a podcast called The Lowlights, right? And I like this guy's podcast. Shout out to Lowlights. And he was talking about James Harden as far as like the hate that he's receiving from jumping from team to team, right? And I sort of have a different perspective from James Harden, right? I'm trying to look at it from a big picture perspective. And I think that, because I think that jumping from team to team, in my opinion, it hurts players, franchise players, it hurts their legacy. Number one, they don't have a forever home and they don't have a fan base that's like dedicated to them. James Harden started out with the OKC Thunder. Then from there, I think he goes to the Houston Rockets. Now he's with the Clippers. He was at Philly at one point. I'm not. I'm trying to think if he was with the with the net Brooklyn one time, right? So anyway, then he left. Now he left the Clippers, and now he is with Cleveland, right? I just think that this era of basketball, where these guys was jumping around from team to team, searching for or leaving situations that they wasn't happy in, or searching or trying to win rings somewhere else with other players, I just think that it hurts their legacy. Like all the numbers that he put up really not going to mean a lot because he didn't win in clutch situations, right? And so this guy from Lowlights, he is really he's reacting to the media attention that James Harden is getting because he's jumping from team to team. But I think some of what the media attention that he's getting, or some of the backlash he's getting from the media, I think is justified, right? So I'm going to listen to both sides, and then I'm going to come back and give my input.
Yo, what up with you, chat? Not gonna lie, I thought about doing this video on stream, but I was like, bro, it's gonna take a while for me to actually like find the clips about it. But in all honesty, it wasn't that hard. So the deadline came and gone, and one of the prevailing narratives so far is James Harden slander. Bro, I woke up after the Harden trade, and everybody just got off their bad take after bad take after bad take. Bro, I went on Twitter, and immediately I'm seeing tweets like these in big 2026. Evan Mobley, hey, I'm open on the low block. Can I get a pass? Donovan Mitchell and James Harden on the perimeter. And they're sitting there tug of warring attire, acting as if like James Harden has not played with multiple ball handlers throughout his career, as if like James Harden has ever had a problem with getting a ball. Some of the best years that Big Zoo has had, the best years of Clint Capella, man, some of the names that y'all know because of James Harden, it's because of them. The reason why most of y'all know of Nick Claxton is because of his time with James Harden. Embiid had some of, if not the best seasons of his career because of James Harden, or him playing next to James Harden. Maxey improved next to James Harden. He played next to Chris Paul. He played next to Russell Westbrook. He played next to Kyrie Irving. Bro, this nigga's been playing next to guards and competent bigs. He played next to Russ and KD back in the day as well. Bro, this man has been around talent this entire time. But now all of a sudden, when he gets next to Donovan Mitchell, he's going to be sitting there fighting possession over the ball as if like he has not proven already that he's been much more adaptable than people give him credit for. Like the fact that, and this got 14,000 likes, and like niggas is like going crazy. Like, yeah, this isn't 2014.
All right, so now now who else? Chris, he did play with Chris Paul also, and like, all right, that's cool. He played with guards, right? And he played with big men that are really good, like low light says, right? But the thing is, the whole thing is to win. Now he also dribbles a lot and he's ball dominant, right? It's like he's not a John Stockton type guard, whereas though he's coming down and the whole offense is in motion and he's just picking the defense apart. He's not that kind of guy. He'll come down and he'll dribble until he can get past his guy, make somebody else commit, and then he'll throw the lob to somebody like Joel Embiid when he was on there, right? So you still have the opportunity to, if you're James Harden, if you're playing James Harden, you still have the opportunity to help out on the big or whoever, you know what I mean? That's so when they get into the playoffs, teams adjust to that. Like during a regular season, you know, Embiid, you're not really going to help out on Embiid like that and double team and make them make that extra pass. But in the playoffs, that's why James Harden, like in the playoffs, didn't have a lot of success when he played with those guys, because he'll make the first pass, and then whoever he make the first pass to, if they now the team has adjusted, where's the adjustment coming from after that? So, whereas though if you have a pure point guard and everybody is constantly moving, then that means the pure point guard is going to hit the open man where the mismatch is. The offense is still rotating and moving. They still got motion. If you go to help, then somebody else is open. You know what I mean? So the team is used to, you know, they're used to having more than one, you know, more than one option. Of course, Joel Embiid is going, if he get more touches, he's going to get more points. But now when they start to double team him or collapse on Joel Embiid, when he was there, they collapsed on him. Now what do we do? Because he's not used to that, because once you get into the playoffs, teams adjust to what you're doing. So that's why, you know, that's that for that point that he made.
Bro, like the fact that like this even got some nasty shit off is crazy. But there's two videos I gotta react to. The first one is by, I think her name is Nicole Moss over in CBS, and then the other one, good friends over in PC. But first, we got to talk about this, because I do have a theory to why so many people just don't like James Harden, bro. There's definitely like a theory behind it.
Shoots him. It's like deja vu with James Harden, right? And James Harden has time and time again shown us that he will always put James Harden first. And to a degree, as a player, you should put yourself first, because we have seen that organizations will always do what's best for them. But
so why are we having this conversation?
Well, all right. So teams don't have an issue with you putting yourself first if you're successful with it. You know, like Kobe put himself first, Mike put himself first. Bird was first, you know, Magic, you know what I mean? So if you are successful and it translates into success, then do that. You know, you can do that. But if it don't, then it's gonna come back to bite you.
Why are we even having this conversation if you were then going to acknowledge that as a player, you should put yourself first? Look at some of his peers who didn't put themselves first. Curry is not putting himself first in the last 6 or 7 years, and they just sat there and wasted Wiseman, wasted Kuminga for Porzingis, wasted Jordan Poole for Chris Paul and Lick.
I don't know. Curry is the number one option for Golden State and has always been the number one option. So Curry, and then when you think about Curry moves without the ball. That's what make it hard to stop Curry. You know, he's constantly on the move, and then he's if he was a dead, you know what I mean? If like he was a dead shooter, just a spot up shooter, then it'll be easy to stop him. But he shoots from all over the court. Plus, he can penetrate. But he is number one. He, you know, in that offense, he number one. That team don't run without him.
Chris Paul walk for nothing. Like you can sit there and see someone who is allowing the front office to do what they do, and look at what has gotten them. Look at what's gotten them. Look at what it got LeBron in his first 7 years in Cleveland. He didn't see anything in the result of it all. Look at what's happening. So
see, all right. So my thing with that, like if you're a franchise player and you have and this is what guys used to do back in the day, man. They used to stick with their team and allow their team to put people around them. Mike didn't win his first championship until his 7th year in the league, right? LeBron left Cleveland after his 7th year. I don't know how many years Isaiah was in before he won his first championship. But I think, in my opinion, if LeBron had stayed in Cleveland and only won 2 championships, like Isaiah did in Detroit, that is, you know what I mean? That's a great career. You know, like the championship in Miami, I think people really don't you know, they attribute those to Dwayne Wade. And the one he won in the bubble, you know, that is you know, people put an asterisk next to that. So I don't know. I think it looks better on your for your legacy, man. If you get over that hump with your own team, you build your own team, and you know, just like when Kevin Durant when he went to Golden State, like those championships came courtesy of, you know, people can make the argument that they came courtesy of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, you know, because they had a championship before he got there, and they won another championship when he left, right? So if you're a franchise ball player, I would prefer to go out like Charles Barkley, you know, although Charles Barkley left Philly, but Charles, you know, when Charles was he stayed and he tried, man. You know, you can't fault Charles Barkley for Philly not winning those championships because Charles was he was dominant. You go back and you watch Charles Barkley highlights, man, and for somebody that's 6'4", you know, blocking shots, rebounding, and moving people out the paint like he's 7 feet tall, man, it's crazy. He was a modern day Wes Unseld. So not that, you know, Wes Unseld played in the Stone Age, but man, you know, I mean, he just was. I think Wes Unseld was like 6'5", but he was a wide dude. He took up the whole paint.
To sit there and to say, well, he's selfish, and a part of me should be selfish because all these owners, yeah, who cares? Like the fact that y'all still sit up here and cope for billionaires, and the fact that they had to spend money on players that they rely on to make their franchise relevant. Boo fucking who? Boo hoo, cry me a river. I'm not about to sit here and complain about a millionaire when there's a billionaire at the top signing the checks. I don't give a fuck about that man.
Yeah, see, I don't like the owners and you know, I don't nobody I'm talking about from a fan standpoint, right? When you look at big picture, because he's the one on the court, he's the one that is expected to perform. So yeah, like I don't care about the owners. Like most people don't even know like who the owners of most teams. I don't know the owners of any team. It's probably New York. I think the guy name is Dolan from New York. I'm trying to say, do I know any other owners around? Well, you know, don't nobody, as a fan, we watching the game. We don't care about the owners.
I don't. Thank God somebody else is being selfish, because every single time anybody negotiates a contract, the other player is going to have to figure out a way how their selfish needs are going to somehow trump the billionaires. And y'all never, ever, ever fix your fucking lips to criticize owners and general managers who put themselves in these situations in the first place. But we'll talk about that later on.
Now on the fourth team for James Harden in a matter of 4 or 5 years. And he has constantly shown that he will run from a situation, whether it's a beneficial situation for him or a situation that's not perfect, but there's opportunity for it to be fixed. There's opportunity to grow. He will constantly run from it when it no longer suits him.
I'm gonna
and see. All right. So what the young lady said though, if it is true, like she's not lying that he's been on 4 different teams in like 5 years. I mean, that's true. And if you want to go down as one of the greats in the league, not the GOAT, but like one of the greats, and you from team to team like that, it just don't look good, number one. And then on top of that, you can't build if you always starting over. You know, like, so what this guy James Harden did is he basically he started over. You know, like imagine in your life where you work a job for 1 year and you quit, you don't like your boss, you quit, you go somewhere else. Then you work another job for 2 years, you quit, you go somewhere else. You don't give yourself an opportunity to build and work your way up in the company. When you keep doing like that, you start all over with you. And people, they've realized that by the time they get, you know, like if you're in the workforce, you realize that after you quit 1 or 2 jobs, you're like, I gotta stick it out here. You know what I mean? I gotta make this work because I want money. You know what I mean? I want to get raises. I want to get promotions. And it's the same way with the NBA. You know, you got to work your way through these different problems and stuff like that. Or, you know, you might have a team that's deficient in one area. You got to find ways to win. You got to find ways to be successful with that team, or pick a team and just stay there. And that's what the greats did back in their day. You know, all the great basketball players that come on these shows and give interviews and stuff like that. they just stuck it out with one team, maybe two teams, and then they just made it work to the best of their abilities. So that's my take on it. I think some of what's going on, like some of the backlash that James Harden is taking, is I think it's well deserved. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like, subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'm gonna check y'all out in the next video. Peace.